In case you need it, here's a video on how to multiply a polynomial. So polynomial is basically an algebraic expression composed of 3 or more terms. A polynomial that has exactly 3 terms is what they call trinomial. A polynomial that has exactly 2 terms is what they call binomial. And a polynomial that has exactly 1 term is basically a monomial. So monomial, binomial, trinomial, and 3 or more is what they call polynomial. So to multiply and solve this given right here, here's how you do it. So basically, you'll just have to multiply this term right here, to each terms on the other parenthesis. So first PDI, you'll just have to choose. You have to choose whether you multiply this pair first or this pair first after multiplying the answers. And then multiplying the answers. So when you do that, let's say we choose this pair to multiply first. So you have to distribute this 2x to these terms. Alright? And then negative y to these 3 terms. And then 3z again to these 3 terms. So just like that, it's basically a matter of distribution and multiplication term by term. So here, if we do this, right, we multiply 2x to each term on this parenthesis here, then we'll have 2x times 2x. That's going to be 4x squared, right? So 4x squared, right? And then what's next? 2x times negative y. So 2x times negative y is going to be negative 2 times xy, right? Alright. And then 2x times 3z. Oh, this term. 2x times positive 3z. You'll have to multiply the coefficients, which is 2 and 3. So 2 times 3 is going to be positive 6. And then x times z is xz. Alright. Now that we've multiplied, we're done with this 2x. Let's move on to the other term, which is negative y. And just like what we did with 2x, we will also multiply it to each of these 3 terms. So negative y times 2x is going to be negative 2 times xy. So the coefficient, so this is positive times negative, so that's negative. And then just copy the variables since they are not the same. So negative 2xy. Negative y times 2x here is basically negative 2xy. And then line it up to the term that has the same variable with it. As you can see, 2xy here, negative 2xy here has a variable xy. And so we will line this answer for this one, the product of these two, to this. Alright. So for later simplification and combining like terms, diba? It's much easier for us. It's more convenient for us to do. And then negative y, so this term, times the next term here, which is negative y. So negative y times negative y, they're both negative, right? And when you multiply negative to a negative, that's going to be positive. So y times y is basically y squared. By loss of exponent, is equal, that is going to be y squared. You add its same base, right? You just have to add their exponents. That's why it's equal to y squared. So 1 plus 1. Alright, that's it. And so the next term here after this negative y is 3z, right? Negative y times 3z, so negative times positive, is going to be negative. So negative 3 and then yz. Remember this term and this term. So z and y. So alphabetically, we write y first before z. So 3yz, and then the sign is negative. And now, we're done with this term. We're done distributing 2x and negative y. And let's not forget, we have 3z too. We have also 3z. So 3z, let's distribute that to these terms again. 2x. So 3z times 2x, multiplying the coefficients, that's 3 times 2 is 6. And then x times z is xz. 3z times 2x is 6xz. So as you can see, we will line this up to this term. This is its similar term. So 6xz is two terms. 6xz. Alright. And then next is this y. Negative y. 3z times negative y is negative 3yz. So there's no yz yet. So we'll just have to write it here. Negative 3yz. Right? Negative and 3z. So negative 3yz. And the next is 3z. 3z. So 3z times 3z, multiplying the coefficients, that's 3 times 3 is equal to 9. 9. And then z times z. Again, that's just z squared. So 3z times 3z is 9z squared. Alright. Simplifying this here, we'll get 4x squared. Negative 2xy minus 2xy is basically minus 4xy. 6xz plus 6xz is just 12xz. Remember, this is not 12x, or this is not 36x squared z squared here, because we are just combining, or in other words, whatever their signs, we'll just have to do the operation here. It's like what we have here, we have positive and positive, so they will become 12xz, and not multiplication, but combining lang. So here, we can't combine this because y squared is different from yz. But here, we can. They're both yz. So we can move this here and line it up here. And this term here and there. There you have it. So negative 3yz minus 3yz is basically negative 6yz. And then plus y squared and plus 9z squared. Alright, so this is what we've got after multiplying the first two pairs, or the first pair. This one. But we're not done yet. After getting the result by multiplying these two terms here, we will again multiply it to the third parenthesis. Right? So 2x minus y plus 3c. We're going to multiply that to this, to all of this. Alright, so let's do that. Here times this one. Again, this is gonna be a long process because due to distribution here. But join me and let's solve this. Let's do this. So this term right here, 4x squared. Again, we're going to distribute that to each of these terms. So the first term is 2x. So 4x squared times 2x is equal to 8. So 4 times 2 is 8, and then x times x squared is x cubed. 8x cubed. And then 4x squared times negative y. 4x squared times negative y is negative 4x squared y. Right? Negative 4x squared y. 4x squared y. And then this term 3z. 4x squared times 3z. They're all positive. 4 times 3 is 12. X squared z. 12x squared z. 12x squared z. Alright. 12x squared z. So we're done with the 3. Let's move on to this term. And then this. Negative 4xy. Negative 4xy times 2x is going to be negative 8x squared y. Negative 8x squared y. So x squared y here. Negative 8x squared y. Alright. 2 times 4, or negative 4 is negative 8 x squared y. And then next, this negative y. Negative and negative, that's going to be positive. X, this doesn't have x, so copy x. And then negative y times y, or just y times y, because we just done multiplying the two negatives. So that will be positive 4xy squared. So there's no term similar to it, so let's just write it here. 4xy squared. This term na. Negative 4xy times negative y is positive 4xy squared. Negative 4xy times 3z is negative 12, and then xyz. Negative 12 xyz. Negative 12 xyz. Negative 12 xyz. Alright, we're done with this. So let's go back here. And then this term. 12xz times 2x is going to be 24x squared z. So x squared z. X squared z. So 24 x squared z for 24x squared z. These two terms multiply together, 24x squared z. And then this negative y. So 12xz times negative y is going to be negative 12xyz. So this negative 12xyz. xyz. And then let's move to 3z. 12xz times 3z is going to be 36xz squared. So xz squared. 36xz squared. Ito ba? Or no? Sorry. Dili ni siya. They're not the same. Plus 36 xz squared. 36 xz squared. Then, we're done with 3z. So, we're gonna move again to 2x. Then, here, with negative 6yz. Negative 6yz times 2x is going to be negative 12xyz. Negative 12xyz. Here's the xyz. Again, it's negative 12xyz. Alright, negative 12xyz. Then this term. Negative y times this. It's going to be positive 6y squared z. Y squared z. I guess we don't yet have y squared z. So let's just write it down as is. Negative. Positive. Positive. Right? Diba? Positive 6y squared z. 6y squared z. Alright, and then this term 3z. And this. So negative 6yz times 3z is negative 18yz squared. Yz squared. Negative 18yz squared. So we don't have yet negative 18yz squared. Or I mean z squared. Yz squared. Right? So yeah. It's like that. And then we're done with this 3z. So let's move to this term and this y squared. So y squared times 2x is basically 2xy squared. Xy squared. Well, we don't have yet xy squared here. Or I guess we have xy squared. So that's 2xy squared. 2xy squared. Right? And then this term. Negative y. So y squared times negative y is negative y cubed. So we don't have y cubed. So let's just write it here. Negative y cubed. And then this term 3z. Y squared times 3z is 3 y squared z. Y squared z. Y squared z. So here we have y squared z. Y squared z. Negative 3y squared z. Negative 3y. Or I mean positive. Oh no. Positive. So this must be positive. Positive 3y squared z. And then lastly, this term. Finally, the most awaited 9z squared times 2x is 18xz squared. 18xz squared. Remember, xz squared. So here, 18xz squared. Then negative y. So 9z squared times negative y is negative 9yz squared. Negative 9yz squared. Yz squared. Negative 9yz squared. Negative 9yz squared. Negative 9yz squared. And then this term. 9 times 3 is 18, 27. 27 z cube. Alright, 27 z cube. And that's it. It's a matter of combining like terms now and simplifying it. This right here is 8x cubed. Right here is negative 12x squared y. Negative 12x squared y. And this 2 is going to be 36x squared z. 36x squared z. And here we have 6xy squared. Xy squared. And then this 3. That's negative 36xyz. 36xyz. And then this 2. So this. And then this 2. 18 and 36 is basically 54. So that's 54xz squared. 54xz squared. Let's make it smaller to have more space. So this 2 y squared z. So that's 9 y squared z. Y squared z. And this negative 18 and 9, that's 27. Negative 27 yz squared. Yz squared. Negative y cube. And 27 z cube. Alright, and this very long polynomial here is the answer to this. So just a quick recap, when you are to multiply polynomial to another polynomial, no, you just have to distribute each term. So when I have x plus y here and x plus y here, for instance, I just have to distribute x to each term, and then this term y to that term. Because when you have polynomial like what we have here, the FOIL method they taught to you will no longer work here, diba? So the idea is basically distribution, diba? First, outer, inner, last. And that's basically the idea, distribution. Distribute x to the two terms, this y to each, and simplify. That's it. I hope you got something here. Thanks for watching. Peace out.